Let's just move quickly through the catalogue to just familiarise yourself with the various cheek pieces and bit options. So in front of us we have the loose ring, which we're all pretty much familiar with. Some of your customers may feel that these loose ring cheek pieces are rather large and aesthetically may not be pleasing to them, although exceedingly functioning. What we do have is also the option of the Bradoon range, which come with a much smaller, more discreet cheek piece ring, which is only 2-inch. And you can clearly see we have the same mouthpiece, but the different sized rings. We then move on to the D's without hooks or slots. This little bit here is one that you should consider stocking. It's an ideal bit for young horses or for young riders on ponies. It is the level 1 with all the attributes of the independent side action, the barrel, the copper inlay, but it has the cheek pieces here have this bar, and it's ideal for fast action that kids love, such as jumping or games or eventing or something like that, because it doesn't pull through the horse's or pony's mouth. If you're wanting to turn to the left, you obviously apply pressure to the left rein, and then the horse is aided to turn, or pony's aided to turn, because the bar here will actually correspond and help push the horse over, and the bit won't pull through the pony's mouth. As we move on through, there are various options of these D's, with or without hooks, and some of the and a number of mouthpiece options. We'll move on to the ever popular egg butts. These are even probably more popular than the loose rings. Bits are very much like gloves and reins. It's a personal preference that the rider has, or the owner of the horse, and also what suits the horse. I personally like egg butts because you do have that cheek support with having the slightly large bars on either side to prevent the bit from pulling through the horse's mouth should it have difficulty turning or be stiff. This is a bit that you should definitely stock, which is the level 1, and then there's also we start to move into the level 2 bits, and you can see here that this bit is the same cheek piece, but the mouthpiece is in level 2, which starts to introduce a small port, which allows greater comfort and tongue relief. Still has the independent side action and the copper inlay. So what are we referring to when we're talking about hooks? I personally like to prefer to call them slots. You'll see this is a level 2 mouthpiece, an egg butt, with what they call hooks. If we compare it to the same bit, so we have the same mouthpiece, but the more conventional egg butt cheek piece, where this one you can see that it has hooks or slots on the top of the cheek piece and on the bottom. Quite simply, this bit, and I prefer with most ported bits, to help stabilize them in the horse's mouth so the port is more effective, either used with slots or hooks or a curb chain. Now, all you need to do simply is thread the cheek piece through the top slot, buckle it up, and your rein just threads through the bottom slot and the two then support each other. So the whole design of this is to stabilize the bit in the horse's mouth so the port remains upright and effective, and as you apply the rein pressure, you also apply subtle pressure onto the horse's poll to help the horse to soften its poll and round its outline. This is one of my favorite bits. I found it very effective with the horse that I had at the time, which I had trouble trying to round it in the poll and bring it back in a soft outline and contact to get it to sit on its hind quarters to collect the canter for both in dressage and in jumping. Again, as I said, you've got your independent side action, you've got your copper inlay for relaxation, and I have recommended this bit to quite a number of riders over the years, and they've had very effective results. Having slots and hooks, it is not legal for dressage, but certainly very suitable for jumping or even for schooling your dressage horse at home. We'll now carry on through the manual. We don't have time to cover all the individual bit options today, but it's up to you to familiarise yourself with the options. Obviously, the full cheek is very popular, especially for young horses, and is designed to obviously use your fulmer keepers so that there is a certain amount of pole pressure as well. You've got your belchers, which are ideal for applying a certain amount of pole pressure for horses that have difficulty in rounding and relaxing in the pole also, and are legal for dressage. You have your Pelhams, your Kimberwicks, and then we move on to the Weymouths and double bridle bits.